You ever been on a flight where everything feels normal, then the world just flips upside down? That's what happened on Flight 319, Dallas to Seattle. A night that started like any other, but ended with a story nobody on that plane will ever forget. Up at 30,000 feet, metal creaking, cabin lights flickering, three guys stood up with knives, eyes wild, ready to take control, and then, one man, a biker in a beat-up leather jacket, changed everything. I'm talking about a regular Tuesday night flight. Folks, the kind where you're half asleep, scrolling your phone, or trying to keep your kid from kicking the seat in front of you. Captain Tom Harper, a guy who's been flying for 27 years, was at the helm, cool as ever, doing his usual walk down the aisle before takeoff, giving nods to nervous flyers, cracking a dad joke to lighten the mood. He's seen it all: turbulence, sick passengers, even a guy who tried to open the emergency exit once, thinking it was the bathroom. But this was different. As he walked, he noticed a guy in row 12, big dude, tattoos snaking down his arms, leather jacket with a faded patch that said Road Reapers. People were whispering, side-eyeing him like he was trouble just waiting to happen. Tom didn't judge. He's flown too long to care about appearances, but he felt the tension, like static before a storm. The guy just sat there, staring out the window, hands folded, quiet as a shadow. Tom moved on, not knowing that man was about to become the heart of this story. The plane hit cruising altitude, engines humming like a lullaby. Drinks were served, kids were giggling. Some dude in a suit was typing furiously on his laptop like he was closing a $1 million deal. Everything was normal until it wasn't. Row 8, a guy bolts up, grabs a flight attendant's arm, hard. Another dude, right on cue, pulls a knife from his coat, blade catching the cabin light. A third blocks the aisle, face like stone, no emotion, just purpose. This plane is ours. One of them hisses, voice low, accented, like he's been practicing the line. The cabin erupts, gasps, trays clattering, a mom pulling her kid close. The intercom's yanked from the flight attendant's hand, and fear spreads like gasoline waiting for a match. In the cockpit, Tom's co-pilot, Mike, mutters, "Holy hell, we're being hijacked." Tom's hands tighten on the controls, heart pounding, but he's trained for this. Keep calm, lock the door, follow protocol. Nobody gets in, no matter what. But back in row 12, the biker, let's call him Jake, though he never gave his name, shifts in his seat. His eyes narrow, not scared, not panicked, just watching, like a wolf sizing up a threat. The hijackers move like they've done this before, barking orders, hands up, stay quiet, all that jazz. One of them shoves a woman to the floor when she reaches for her kid's asthma inhaler, a real classy move. Another starts pounding on the cockpit door, metal echoing like a war drum. In the cockpit, Tom's watching the camera feed, sweat beading on his forehead, whispering to Mike, "We hold the line, no matter what." But his eyes keep flicking to row 12, where Jake's still sitting, unmoving, like he's carved from granite. One of the hijackers spots him. "You," he snaps, pointing the knife, blade glinting. "Stand up, tough guy." Every head turns, passengers holding their breath, waiting for Jake to do something. Fight. Cower. Jake doesn't rush, doesn't flinch. He stands, slow, deliberate, filling the aisle like a damn mountain. The hijacker steps closer, knife inches from Jake's chest. "Hands up now." Jake raises his hands, but his eyes, man, those eyes don't waver, like he's staring straight through the guy's soul. "You don't want to do this," Jake says, voice low, gravelly, not begging, not threatening, just stating a fact, like he's telling you the sky's blue. The hijacker laughs, but it's shaky, like he's not sure who's in control anymore. "Sit down, or you're dead." He spits, pressing the blade harder. Jake tilts his head, just a bit, like he's studying a bug. "Kid, I've danced with death more times than you've had hot meals. You ain't it." The cabin's dead silent. Passengers are frozen, but you can feel it, something's shifting. The hijacker's bravado cracks, just for a second, and Jake sees it. He doesn't swing, doesn't yell, just stands there, immovable, like he's daring them to make the next move. The other two hijackers start shouting, trying to claw back control, but it's like they're yelling into a void. Jake's not fighting them with fists, he's fighting them with presence, and it's freaking them out. A little girl, maybe 6, peeks over her mom's shoulder, whispering, "He's not scared." Jake catches her eye, gives the tiniest nod, like he's saying, "You're gonna be okay." That nod. It's worth more than 100 punches. The lead hijacker, let's call him Scarface cause of the ugly gash across his cheek, gets desperate. He grabs a teenage kid from his seat, yanks him up, knife to his throat. The kid's mom screams, passengers gasp, and the whole plane feels like it's about to snap. "Open the cockpit, or he's done," Scarface roars. In the cockpit, Mike's hand hovers over the radio, eyes wide, but Tom shakes his head. Protocol says no. They're watching the feed, and Jake steps forward, boots thudding like a heartbeat. "Put him down," he says, calm as a summer lake. Scarface smirks, presses the blade closer. "Or what, biker?" Jake takes another step, slow, deliberate. "Or you'll find out what happens when a man's got nothing left to lose." The kid's trembling, Scarface's hand shakes, and for 1 second, that blade wavers. The kid wriggles free, stumbles into his mom's arms, and the cabin almost explodes with relief, but Jake raises a hand. Quick, silencing them. "Stay quiet, stay strong," he says, voice low but firm, and damn if every single person doesn't listen. Scarface loses it, lunges at Jake, knife slashing wildly. It nicks Jake's arm, blood seeping through his sleeve, but he doesn't even blink. He grabs Scarface's wrist, twists it like it's nothing, and the knife hits the floor with a clatter. The guy howls, collapsing into a seat, and Jake kicks the blade down the aisle, out of reach. The other two hijackers scream about bombs now, pointing to vests strapped to their chests, wires dangling like a bad Halloween costume. Passengers duck, sobbing, thinking it's over. But Jake? He just stares, tilts his head again. "Bluff," he says, flat, like he's calling out a bad poker hand. "If those were real, we'd be dust by now." The cabin freezes. Scarface yells, lies, but you can see it. Passengers squinting, noticing the wires aren't even connected right. Jake's not just standing there. He's rewriting the whole damn script. "You've got knives and noise," he says, voice cold as steel. "Noise don't win." And that's when it happens. A guy in a suit, probably a lawyer or some corporate hotshot, stands up, fists clenched. An older woman, clutching her purse like she's ready to swing it, stands too. One by one, people rise, not charging, not yet, but standing, like they're saying, "We're done being scared." The hijackers spin, knives waving, shouting, but their voices crack, desperate. Jake lifts a hand, calm as ever. "Not yet," he says, and the passengers freeze, waiting for his signal. He turns to the hijackers, steps closer. "Your time's up," he says, simple, final. And you know it. One of them lunges, but Jake sidesteps, grabs his arm, and slams him into a seat. Another swings from behind, but the corporate guy, the suit tackles him, pinning his arm. The cabin erupts, not in chaos, but in action. Passengers grab belts, scarves, anything, and within seconds, those three wannabe tough guys are face down in the aisle, tied up like hogs. Jake's voice cuts through the noise. "Don't kill him. Hold him." And they do. The plane's theirs again. Tom's voice crackles over the intercom, shaky but strong. "Folks, we're secure." The cabin explodes in cheers, tears, hugs, but every eye keeps drifting back to Jake. He's standing there, blood dripping from his arm, calm as ever, waving off thanks like it's nothing. "Wasn't just me," he says, voice quiet. "You all stood." Tom steps out of the cockpit, locks eyes with Jake, and there's this moment, two guys who carry the weight of others in different ways. "Captain Harper," Tom says, extending a hand. Jake takes it, firm. "Don't need my name," he says. "What matters is nobody's forgetting tonight." The plane lands in Seattle, smooth as silk, but the tension's back when police swarm the runway. They storm in, expecting a war zone, but find three guys trussed up and Jake standing there, hands raised, calm as ever. "They're yours," he says, stepping back. Passengers pour out, some hugging him, an old vet saluting him, tears in his eyes. Jake returns the salute, quiet, respectful. Reporters swarm the terminal, shouting for his name. But Jake? He's gone, slipping out a side exit, leather jacket blending into the night. A ghost who didn't need the spotlight. Later, Tom's in his hotel room, staring at his logbook, still shaken. He writes one line. "Some heroes don't need wings." Somewhere out there, a motorcycle roars down a dark road, carrying a man most folks would cross the street to avoid. But to us on Flight 319, he was something else, a reminder that courage doesn't always wear a badge or a uniform. Sometimes it wears leather, carries scars, and stands when everyone else is too scared to move. That night, we didn't just land safely, we learned something. Fear only wins if you let it. One guy, one choice, one stand, and everything changes. So, what do you think? Was Jake just a guy in the right place, or something more? Could you stand like that, or would fear win? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe if you want more stories that make you feel something real. Let's talk about it. What's courage look like to you?